Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's the Weekly Pint, which means I'm the Gnarly Gnome, and that this is not a show. It's not a show because, again, we're late. We're late as always. Is there actually even a real time that the show is supposed to start? I don't even know anymore. I thought we were all on track. I thought everything was going great. And then right as everybody lays down to go to bed and everybody snuggles up in their beds, both of my kids start crying that they don't really want to go to bed. One of them decides she wants to skip school tomorrow, which how that became a thing, I don't even know. So I guarantee she's going to now get up in the morning and decide that she's sick or something, and that she just doesn't have to go to school. So we're going to have to deal with that tomorrow too. So yeah, here we go. But none of that matters right now because this is a happy hour. It's an excuse for us all to hang out together and have a drink together, which after all of that, I desperately need a drink. So I need you to fulfill that part for me. We got all kinds of fun things to talk about. Caroline says school is for losers. Maybe. I don't know. Let's see. Josh is drinking Columbus IPA. Good choice. Julia is drinking Humble Forager Brewery, an Eastern Seaboard Hazy IPA. That's a lot of words for a beer, but that's fine. Caroline is drinking water, still recovering. Beer is good for recovery too. Julia said, I had all water today until dinner time. Marco is having psychopathy. I don't have a beer in front of me. I do have an empty glass, although I'm going to let you guys choose what goes in this glass or maybe doesn't go in this glass, depending on what you choose. We'll see. Let's do that first. We'll put that right there just in case you guys pick something that needs to go in the glass. Somewhere I've got a bunch of little paper bags, and I have no idea what happened to them, but they're down here somewhere. I'm looking. Maybe they're up there. I don't know. They're somewhere down here. Let's see. Eric is having Monkey's Dunkel from Wiedemann. Good choice. I've got a beer, I should rephrase that. I have a drink. I have one drink sitting on this side of the camera over here, and I've got one camera sitting on this side. I'm going to call this, I know that, well, all right, we'll say for you guys, this is right and this is left. So right, left, first person that picks, that's the direction we're going and what I pick. And they are very different drinks. Right, left, right, left. No punch can tonight. Right, left, right, left. Somebody pick one. Come on. Somebody help me out. Left. Okay. Marco picked left. That's where we're going. So to the left, Julia picked right. Too late. We have Bojangles Hard Sweet Tea. These were both gifts from a friend. This was not an official gift, so I don't feel like I need to say who it was, but steeped like they mean it. If anybody has ever been down south, Bojangles is a chain, fast food kind of biscuit restaurant that exists. I've had many Bojangles biscuits in my life, but I have never had Bojangles Hard Sweet Tea. I feel like this doesn't need to go in a glass. It does say beer. It is beer. It contains alcohol. We'll read it all in a second. I'll show you guys what I could have drank. We could have gone New Glarus. This is a beer that I've never had before. This is their Enigma 23. I know nothing about it other than what it says. It is, a complex and intriguing original. The mystery began with wild yeast spontaneously fermenting, a rich treasure of I'm not even gonna. It's just gonna make me mad. You guys let me down. All right, Bojangles. Let's see. This is proudly brewed by Appalachian Mountain Brewery. In Boone, North Carolina, and Baldwinsville, New York. That's a interesting. Okay, we won't dig it too much into that. It is made with filtered water, cold fermented cane sugar, liquid cane sugar, black tea, and malted rice. Beer contains alcohol. Please enjoy responsibly. Don't tell me what to do. That's all it tells me. Does it tell me how much alcohol is in here? I don't think it does. It does not. It just says it contains alcohol, and it's for 21 and up. I am 21 and up. You guys can't see that. It's not focusing for whatever reason. There we go. All right, let's dive into this. Julia says shotgun it. That's not going to happen. All right. Prost. Cheers. I don't know what the proper cheers to Bojangles sweet tea, whatever this is, hard sweet tea is, but bottoms up. All right, I am going to put it in a glass just to see what we're dealing with here. Just out of curiosity. Not really carbonated, which I guess for sweet tea is what you expect. Julia says that the internet says it's 5%. Yeah, not a lot going on as far as aroma goes. Tea. It smells like sweet tea. Doesn't even smell like sweet tea. It just smells like maybe a little bit of tea aromatic. Maybe. That's fine. Not super sweet. It's kind of just right in the middle of the road. It's not over the top with like the tea kind of drying tannic thing that I really love about tea. There's not a ton of that, but it's also not overly sweet. That's good. Yeah, I could do that like over ice easily. Mix it with some lemonade maybe. That's fine. Elijah says, congrats for running the relay this weekend. We'll talk about it. I've got lots of thoughts about the Flying Pig relay. Oh. Yeah, it's fine. It goes down really fast. I guess that's maybe a positive about it. Okay, that's just fine. If I was still not my favorite hard tea, I'm going to give that edge to Rheingeist. Still, Geist tea I think is fantastic. Out of all of the hard teas that I've had, it still stands above everything else. But I'm fine with this. I don't know why we need it. That whole world confuses me a little bit. I understand drinking tea, and I understand drinking hard beverages such as cocktails and beer. I just don't know why they have to live together. I don't know why that's necessary in any world. Because I don't want to sit there and drink it out of the can like that. I want to put it in a glass. I want to put some ice on it and do that. And if I'm going to go to those lengths, that difficulty of a glass with ice and pouring the hard tea in there, why would I not just get the glass with ice, put tea in there, and then put my own booze in there? Why? Some bourbon and tea. Why do I need this? I don't get it. And clearly it's a thing. Twisted Tea has proved that there's a lot of people drinking hard tea. I just don't understand it. Like, is it the lack of carbonation that's making it popular? Is it surely it's not just the tea flavor. There's not that many people that love tea that much, right? I don't get it. Let me catch up on the comments here. I've been trying to figure this out. Marco wants to know about getting teabagged. We'll leave that one alone. Julia says we need it because we need to put alcohol in everything. I get that, and I've had tea plenty of times that I then put alcohol in. I just don't know why somebody has to do it for me. Maybe that's the question. Why does somebody need to do it for me? Austin wants to know if anyone else ran the 50 West 5K. Can't beat 2 beers and a coney after a run. I can't argue with that. Aaron says, think of it as another camp cocktail. I get that. But still, I think I can still take sweet tea and booze and mix them even when I'm camping. Um, Julia says she didn't this year, referring to the 5K, but I have done the 50 West Miler in the past. Elijah said my brother-in-law got me a sweet tea liquor. It's very interesting. Pretty good when added to a glass of lemonade. I think I've got something like that. I think I have. Mine's probably a vodka though, like a sweet tea vodka. What was that like? Is it Firefly or something? I think I've got something like that around here somewhere. I need to get all of this in order. It probably doesn't make sense for me to do shows where we're talking about booze here in the studio when all of the booze is out there. Because when somebody says something like that, now I want to turn around and find sweet tea liquor and try it with us. And I don't know. But I can't do that because it's all the way out there. It makes it very difficult. I need to start doing shows out there or bring all the booze in here, which doesn't make sense because then how am I supposed to drink on a normal night? So we need to start doing shows out there, I think, is where I'm leaning. Caroline said, and on that, Elijah, sweet tea, liquor or liqueur, whatever, is fine. I'm sure it's great when you add it to a glass of lemonade. I still think bourbon is better. Bourbon and lemonade, you really can't beat it, especially over ice in the summertime. Oh, it's so good. Caroline says we did the 50 West Mile this year. Nice and cool compared to Sunday. Yeah, Sunday was hot. Again, we'll talk about that. I have a couple stories I want to talk about before we get to the pig this year. Marco said you can't take glass to the track, so the alcohol in a can is convenient. I don't buy that the only reason that hard teas and things like this are popular is because of NASCAR. I think it's more complicated than that. I heard the basement door open. I wonder what's happening. I can see my wife. It looks like she's raiding the bar. She's looking for the tea. I don't know if we actually have it. Am I making that up?
I thought we used to have one.
It could be under the bar too. There's like a stash over by the ice machine.
Oh, you have this green tea liqueur.
Let me try that. Will you get me that and like one of those little taster glasses?
How old this is.
I don't know how old it is either. It won't kill me, I don't think.
You just continue.
All right, she's finding things on the bar. Caroline says Arnold Palmers are pretty popular. I don't drink cold tea. That's fine, but somebody is drinking things like this. Again, this isn't bad. I just don't think it's easier than going and getting Arizona sweet tea, grabbing a can of that and a bottle of booze and mixing it yourself, putting it in a Yeti, get a big jug of Arizona sweet tea and a big plastic jug of bourbon and go to the track if that's where we're doing this, and take your Yeti with some ice in it, fill it up with both of those things. I don't get it. It doesn't make sense. None of it makes sense. Marco says NASCAR started because of moonshine. Why can't hard tea be popular because of the same reason? That is not the same thing. The moonshine that started NASCAR is not the moonshine that birthed hard sweet tea. Those are two very different things. And I don't have a problem with some of the moonshine. Is there hard moonshine tea? Is that a thing? I bet those places in Gatlinburg have hard moonshine sweet tea. Thank you, honey. This is the best we could find behind the bar. We have this Zen green tea liqueur. I feel like at some point we had sweet tea. I also don't know how old this is. It doesn't say you need to refrigerate it. Whatever. What's it going to do? Oh, it smells fine. Let's make sure there's no chunks in here before I... Okay. Looks like pond water. Liquefied. I guess all pond water is liquefied. Something that came from the Black Lagoon. I wish you guys could get a good look at the color of this. There you go. That's a good picture of it. Let's see. Marco says you drank the shit out of it. Yeah, I don't know how this is so low. Maybe my kids have been sneaking down here and drinking out of the green tea liqueur. I bet this is good, like, in a glass of just soda water, just green tea and soda water, maybe. I don't know what we drank this with. The cocktails that are on the back, there's two of them. One says mix Zen with tonic water and serve on the rocks. Okay, I could do that. The other one is a Zentini. Mix 1 ounce of Zen with 2 ounces of citrus vodka. Add a splash of fresh lime juice. Shake and serve in a martini glass. That sounds terrible. I don't know. This is ugly. All right. It doesn't smell bad. Elijah says, oh, and I have a matcha Kahlua I got while in Japan. I would be curious to try that. Julia says, the pig didn't kill him, but the green tea liqueur just might. Brandy says, my wife, says it's 20 years old. Yeah, at least. Okay, let's see. All right. Cheers to not dying in the heat of the pig, but to whatever this is going to do to me. No, that's not bad. That's just fine. That is no worse than this stuff is. Actually, it's pretty similar. It's not as cold. And it's a little, a little sweeter. Mm-hmm. No, that's fine, guys. Do they still make this stuff? That's not bad. That's why it's so low, because it's good. Who knew? We'll keep sipping on that. Some people drink water to rehydrate and recover after running a relay. I drink Zen green tea liqueur. God, that's weird. Weird stuff. Ooh, I got some on me, and now it's all sticky. That's a lot of sugar. Whatever. That's fine. Sugar never killed anybody, right? Marcus says, finish the bottle. Then how would I share it with you guys the next time you're over here? Let's start. That's good stuff. Yeah, I actually like that. I would do that just over ice. Take just a rocks glass with some ice in it. And Julia says, yes, it's still made, it seems. Can you still get it here, though? That's the problem, especially with Ohio, is that things come and go too frequently. You fall in love with something and then you can't get it anymore. Oh, it's so sweet. Yeah, it's definitely sweeter than the Bojangles. Man, I need to keep baby wipes or something down here to clean off the crap I get on me from weird liqueurs. Let's jump into a story, because there's definitely a couple of them, and I don't know which order I put these in. I'm hoping that the way my head is working right now is the way it was working earlier. We're just gonna hit the button and see. It is Labatt. This is so. No, I don't. To my wife, I don't need them. It's fine. It's fine. I'll get it after the show. Labatt. So when I can hear thumping, she doesn't need to bring them. Somebody tell her she doesn't need to bring them. I'm gonna get stickier before the end of the show. Somebody should cut that out. Labatt is owned by a larger kind of brewery conglomerate at this point. And, my computer wants to install updates. No, thank you. Not right now. We'll do it later. This larger brewery conglomerate, which I cannot remember the name of, also owns Genesee, or I should say Genesee owns Labatt, or however that has worked out at this point. The point of this whole thing is that over the last 10 years or so, they have dumped more than $200 million into renovating, modernizing, and upgrading the Genesee Brewery in Rochester, New York, with the intention of doing a lot of contract brewing, things like that. A lot of these big breweries have been doing that over the last couple decades. They are currently getting ready to upgrade the canning line and something else that I can't remember. And they're dumping another $10 million or something into this brewery. A little byline of this upgrade to the brewery is that they're going to start brewing Labatt in Rochester, New York. And I'm kind of torn. Not that I care about Labatt. It's a big kind of macro beer at this point. It was owned by Budweiser for years, and I don't really care about it. But it should probably be made in Canada, right? Like, isn't that kind of the whole point of some of these brands? Is where they come from, and kind of that that personality of the brand. If they're not made in these places, aren't they all just the same thing? Part of what makes it what it is where it comes from and what the brand kind of means. And so this whole thing, I think this is ridiculous. And I get it probably makes sense on paper or in some kind of spreadsheet somewhere, and you have to expand a little bit. Elijah says, visited Genesee about 6 years ago. Was an interesting stop, but yes, Labatt should be Canadian, period. I agree. Genesee, I love the brand. When I was like a single guy living in my little apartment by myself, there was always Genesee in my fridge. That was like my go-to like cheap beer. This was kind of right before Hootie got brought back to Cincinnati. There weren't any local kind of light beer brands. You just had to buy something. And Genesee made a decent cream ale that was cheap, came in 12 packs, and yeah, I kept it in my fridge almost all the time. Fine beer. Julia says, if you make Labatt outside of Canada, you have to remove the leaf from the logo. You got to do a lot of things. I just why not make a different brand? Why does it need to be Labatt? It bothers me in the same way of many other brands that are just being kind of stripped of all of their personality. It's a fundamental misunderstanding about why people drink certain things. And you can probably trick consumers for a little while, but at some point they're going to just stop caring because it doesn't mean anything anymore. And I don't know if that takes 5 years or 10 years or 5 decades. But at some point, it happens, and it's the fault of places like this for doing that. And I believe that very strongly. So screw you, Labatt. You're missing the point. Eric says Genesee Blue. Elijah says Labatt, red, white, and le blue. I don't like this at all. That's how I feel about this move by Labatt's and Genesee. Which again, no problem with the company. Do whatever you want to do, but don't expect me to drink your beer if I go to a hockey game anymore. So it doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean a darn thing. Moving on, because I'm tired. That's the pig. Let me see if I have another story here. I think I had one more. Okay, HighGrain. We'll talk a bit about this before we get to the boot. We'll talk about this before we get to the flying pig. HighGrain finally opened their space at Brentwood, and it is awesome. Hang on, let me catch up here. Zach says, sorry, just joined the conversation, but I'm enjoying this Swine City Brewing Nuke, Ohio Skyline Chili themed barrel-aged brown ale. I have not tried the barrel-aged version. I had the original one, and I didn't love it. I think I would have liked it without the chili pepper whatever thing that they added to it. I think without that it would have been fine, which maybe some of that has fallen out with the barrel-aged version. I don't know. Marco says, doesn't that company make the Kirkland brand beers? I don't know. I think the Kirkland brand beers have changed a little bit throughout the years to different places. They're contracted wherever they can, basically. So I don't know. Unless you mean this company, because no, they don't. But HighGrain did open their new production facility which I have a lot of thoughts about. I wrote a post about it today, and I don't even think I properly captured my thoughts in the post because I have so many about what this means, not just for the brand itself, but this is a very important kind of step for Cincinnati breweries, which seems way bigger than it probably should. Everybody talks or likes to talk about how craft beer is shrinking as a segment, and I'm not arguing that. I know the numbers and I've seen them. As I sit here and sip green tea liqueur and sweet tea, hard, whatever this is, I recognize that that craft beer is shrinking as a segment. But that doesn't mean that every brewery is shrinking and that craft beer is necessarily shrinking everywhere you go. I think that there is a lot of room for a lot of places to find ways to keep growing as a business. For some of them, that may mean growing into other segments. This may mean growth for some places. For others, it may mean something like this. And I personally get more excited about things like this than I do things like this. Or things like this, as Julia pointed out earlier. I have not tried this yet, by the way. It's not a Cincinnati product. That needs to be very clear. I think that what HighGrain did in Silverton is very similar to what they are trying to do in Brentwood with this project. It's just done in a deeper kind of a level for them as a business. The addition of coffee in the mornings with La Terza. La Terza is moving their roastery into the warehouse there at HighGrain, or is there. They're not moving. You can smell it when you go there. They're roasting there. They have a little counter there, so you can get, I think 8 a.m. is when they open, so you can go at 8 a.m., grab a cup of coffee, sit down, get a little pastry or something, and start your workday. And you can sit there, and then when 11 a.m. hits and the brewery opens, you can walk up to the bar and grab yourself a beer, and then the second half of your day, sit and have a beer and have a sandwich or whatever, wings, and finish your day. But they're becoming this really cool hub to that community in the same way that they did in Silverton, just much bigger. The taproom space is probably the size of MadTree's indoor taproom space. I don't know how many seats are at MadTree, but just looking at the taproom there at HighGrain, it's probably about the same size. The brewery itself is huge. Obviously the brew house is not the same size as the brew house at MadTree. My wife says we don't all drink beer during our workday. What? I think most of us do, right? You should. If you don't, you're not doing it right. Oh, it's because you drink green tea liqueur during your workday. That's fine. It's just a different craft segment. Is this craft? I don't know if this is craft. It's good. I mean, it's sweet. It's really sweet. It's kind of like if you took some grass, all right, that you take a blender, take some grass and some sugar, and then you add a little bit of tea, and then some more sugar, and then a little bit of water, and you blend that up. That's what this tastes like, and it's good. Note to self, new interview question. Is this a interview question like you're interviewing somebody to work for you? Do you need to drink beer while you're working? Or is this an interview question when you're interviewing at your employer? Can I drink beer while I'm working? Because I think both of those are good interview questions. How do you feel about drinking while you're working? um, some days for sure. I'm also still partial to my black cherry White Claws. Yeah, we have way too many of those in the garage fridge. I hope you're drinking one right now because we need to drink through the stock. Actually, there's if you want to, if everybody wants behind the scenes here, there's a cooler in the middle of the living room right now, and I'm pretty sure that there's a bunch of black cherry White Claws in that. If you just want to open that up and start working through those, that would be great. I think it's full of White Claw and garage beer, probably. Actually, I'm 99. No, it's not even good seltzers. It's all those weird ones that you bought. There's a bunch of weird seltzers in there, and there's not even room for them in the garage fridge. Oh man, we're gonna have to crush some seltzer. Anyways, I think that this is. I'm getting off track, guys. Julia says will be over later this week to help clear out the fridge cooler. It's all seltzers. It's not that good. You don't want to drink it. I think that this is important for them. If you get a chance to go there, you will be blown away by how big they've done this. Oh, Zach says, but I'm excited to hear Higher Gravity Summit Park is going to have coffee too, and then they'll be opening earlier. Same idea, just much smaller scale than what this is. And they are roasting on site here, whereas Higher Gravity is getting their coffee roasted off site and then bringing it in. Still great. Elijah says, Gnome Home Seltzer Smash. Oh, man. Oh, Swine City. Says Zach Holly, surprised we still have cans left. Should have wax dipped them and put Skyline crackers on top. That would have been brilliant. I need to swing by and snag a can. I'm curious to see how much of the pepper component hung on, because that was what I did not like about the other one. It's a fun beer though. I would drink that over this. Not that this is bad, but I would drink Skyline chili beer. Oh man, I just knocked a big box of stuff over. Zach says it's a great idea. So if anybody has not been to the new HighGrain location, go there. It's a big change from Silverton, but it'll feel very familiar to what they've done in Silverton, if that makes sense. Moving on, the flying pig. The graphic doesn't really matter. I don't understand why people choose to run for fun. That's kind of my whole take on this. Look, I'm not going to say that I'm not glad that I did it. I appreciate the team for sure, that everybody kind of got together and did this thing. I just don't understand why everybody else was doing it too. I get why we did it, and maybe everybody else got tricked into doing this thing. maybe it's that simple. But my goodness, I'm in pain right now. It hurts. It's definitely better than it was last night and better than it was this morning. But my goodness, I forget about it every time I sit down. I very quickly forget that I'm in extreme pain until I go to stand up the next time. I was looking for a good place to put the metal in the shot. I was gonna hang it off of the microphone, but it weighs the microphone down, so that didn't work. But yeah, I'm proud of everybody for sticking with it, and everybody for finishing. Everybody making a great time. Your face like red too. I don't even understand what that means. Your face like red too. Julia says she no longer has a migraine, which is nice. That's because you've switched to beer. That's what does it. You recovered properly. My wife says that the kids and her had fun having McDonald's breakfast while we were waiting when you all ran. When you were having McDonald's, it was probably when poor Marco was running up the hill. Julia says hashtag team no prep. Marco says I enjoyed parts. Zach Holly says, your face looks red too. Yeah, I'm a little bit sunburned. You can see it more. There you can see it. There's a very distinct line from where my bandana was. So yeah, face is a little toasty. My arms are not nearly as bad as some of the other arms on the team. I'm good there, but yeah, face. I'm so used to wearing a hat where I've got some shade over my face. Marcus's Rachel just cracked up laughing. It's not funny. It's not funny at all. It doesn't hurt. That's the good. Like, I didn't get so burnt that I'm in pain, which is, I guess, a positive. Julia says, everyone did such a great job, and I'm so happy we all got to cross the finish line mostly together. Yep. You guys were telling me to slow down. At that point, I didn't know how to adjust my speed either way. I couldn't slow up. I couldn't slow down. I couldn't speed up. I was just going at whatever speed that was. Zach says, some aloe fix. That'll be fine. My wife says she's been laughing at it for 24 hours. Elijah says, I'm the poster boy for reminding folks to wear sunscreen. Yeah, I did wear sunscreen. That's what... So... From my perspective, and my leg, everybody else can have their own excuses with this. I was the last leg, so I didn't really know when I was going to start running. I had a kind of a general idea in my head, but I wasn't sure. And I put sunscreen on in the morning, but then had to wait for my turn to start my leg. So in that time, I guess the sunscreen just wears off, and then couple that up with it getting much, much hotter in the sun, getting higher in the sky. It's just, whatever. Whatever, it's fine. Julia says, I don't feel like I'm radiating heat, but my shoulders are not happy. I definitely, when I got into bed last night, I definitely could feel it like a little bit. Though I'm like, oh, yeah, I got a little bit of a sunburn. Yeah, definitely was, last night was rough. The little bit of heat exhaustion, a little bit of sunburn, and then the every muscle just being in pain. Zach wants to know when Marco and Julia start recording for Truth Beer Pod on Tuesdays. Just wondering. Zach also wants to know if I will be there. I don't know yet. I never really know. My Tuesdays are my crazy days, so sometimes I'm there, sometimes I'm not. It's a surprise for everybody. Julia wants to know, did you have a favorite aid station, cheering group, or sign that you passed by on your leg? Mine was the Animal Crossing Capri Sun I got, and Moses holding up a sign saying the end is coming. That's pretty good. As far as aid stations, no, I didn't partake in a lot of the aid stations because I was just so focused on just keeping going. I had a couple Gatorades, and then a couple waters, a lot of waters, which was a little frustrating too, that people would just hold out the cup and they wouldn't say which one they had, because a lot of time I just wanted the water. I didn't want the Gatorade. I just wanted water, and I didn't know until I got it. And I'm like, oh, this is more Gatorade. I wanted water. That's fine. I appreciate everybody that was there cheering everybody on. I have the cold towels. When I hit that one, that was fantastic to be able to just, because it was so hot at that point, to be able to throw a cold towel over my head for a block or so was just absolutely wonderful. That was good. The weird one, there wasn't the strangest one, and I know I told a lot of you guys this. They were doing tissues, like Kleenex on one. They called it like the something puff, the huff and puff something. I didn't understand that. I still don't understand it. When they were like holding them out for people, I thought it was going to be a cold towel, and so I snatched it, and then I'm like, wait a minute, this is just a tissue. And so then I was confused. I'm like, what do I do with the tissue? Is my nose running? Was this somebody trying to tell me something? So I just kind of wiped my nose a little bit, and then I tossed it in a garbage can. I don't know. I don't know what you're supposed to do with it. Is that like a common thing for people while they're running, that their nose runs also? Was it a joke because you're running and your nose runs? I don't know. I don't know anything about it. I don't understand it. That was a weird one. My favorite sign, somebody was holding up a sign that says it would have been faster to drive. I like that because, yes, it would have been much faster to drive. There was one station where they were holding up globs of Vaseline on their gloved fingers. I didn't know if I was going to get some kind of exam on the course or if it was for chafing. That's fantastic. Which one happens, Marco? Did you get an exam while you were running? See, and there's a whole other side of me that wishes that instead of actually like focusing on running, we had just made a video about this, and you get to the station, just turn around and just pull your pants down and like, all right, I'm ready. You know, like that would be funny for a video, right? TikTok would love it. Marco says I wasn't going to talk about that. It was definitely an experience. It was reassurance that I'm definitely not a runner. I have no desire to run for fun. I don't understand why people do it, and I don't know that I'll ever do it again. It was fine. It was the medal's cool. Swag bag was cool. Shout out to Caroline for making sure we all got our swag bags. Free beer at the end was great, even though it was Mick Ultra. It was the best Mick Ultra I've ever had, so that was fine. But yeah, other than that, I don't feel healthier. Actually, I feel less healthy now than I did before it. I feel like I did lots of long-term damage to myself. I probably took 6 months off of my life, so there's that. Marco ran into 2 states and over 3 bridges. That's cool. I didn't run into any other states. I just stayed in the same state. Had to run past a brewery and didn't stop. So that's a little depressing. It's always fun running past people doing the thing you would much rather be doing than running. But I figured if I stopped and then called you guys and said, hey, I just decided to go to a brewery instead of finishing, I thought you guys would get mad at that. But so I decided not to. So that's my take on it. Julia says I went uphill both ways on my leg. I only had one hill really on mine, and I don't even know that it counts as a hill, considering some of the hills you guys had on yours. It was right at the beginning, though, which was the hardest part of my leg. There was a not edible sign on the course that confused me, followed by a greased pig sign, then people holding popsicle sticks with Vaseline on them. All right. Wow. Why didn't I have any Vaseline? I'm feeling a little left out now. Caroline had a sneaky hill that was annoying. So to fill everybody in, so Marco took the first leg of the relay. So I hope everybody has seen kind of the way the course goes. It starts downtown, goes across the river into northern Kentucky, and then goes back into Cincinnati. Then it goes through the city, and then up into Eden Park, and then from Eden Park it goes up into Walnut Hills is later. It goes from Eden Park. Julia, help me out with where your leg went. Fill us in all the places that you ran. Hyde Park. There's got to be something in between that, right? From Eden Park. I don't know. Somebody pull up the map and look at it. But from there it goes all the way over east into Walnut Hills, into down into Marymount, and then heads down towards the river, and then comes all along the river back up into the city. Eden Park, Woodburn area, something Wills, then Hyde Park, Walnut Hills. Caroline says, I don't know where I was. I just know I went through Marymount and past the mainliner. Yeah, you were through Marymount and Fairfax, and then over to Linwood, which is where I took over. It was weird. 10 out of 10. Don't recommend. It was fine. I'm glad it's over with. But on that note, we will start wrapping things up this week because I'm tired and everything hurts and I just want to climb into bed. That's all I've wanted to do all day. Julia says we should all sign up to do a Tough Mudder next. No. I say no. I'll watch. I will cheer everybody on, but that does not sound like something I want to do. I will sign up for any beer drinking that needs done. If there's some cocktails that need sipped on, I will sip on those. Some shots. You want to do a shot? I'll do a shot with you. That's always fun. Sake tasting. I enjoy a good sake tasting. All of those things are more of my wheelhouse. Anything called tough and mudder are not. That's not my speed. The only reason I signed up for the Flying Pig is because I thought there was bacon. And unfortunately, the bacon was in Caroline's leg. The whole time she's running, she's like texting the whole time, sending us pictures of all kinds of fun drinks and snacks and stuff that she got. I got, Pringles at one point, and that was like 4 miles in. So, no, I'm not signing up for that anymore. Unless Tough Mudder is just a trick and it's all bacon, no desire. But I encourage anybody that enjoys running to go ahead and do it because it's fine. It's hot and miserable, and that sounds like something that people who like running would like. I don't know. Thank you guys very much for hanging out. We'll be back next week. I think on my calendar, next week is another cocktail episode. That may change. All of this is very subject to last-minute changes, just depending on my mood and depending on what news happens during the week. I'm pretty sure next week is listed as a cocktail episode, so stay tuned for that. That's where you get to help me build a cocktail. And maybe we'll throw some Zen green tea liqueur in said cocktail. Who knows? Stay tuned. You never know. You never have any idea what's going to happen on the show because it's not a show. If it was a show, we would have very distinct plans for what it was going to entail. But since it's not, we just kind of make it up as we go along, like everything in life. Everything in life that's fun. We'll be back. Thank you, guys. If you like this show, if you like any of the stuff that I do, make sure you go to thegnarlygnome.com/support, and you can support it that way. My wife likes it when people support the show. It means that it's actually a real thing instead of me just hiding in the basement drinking green tea liqueur when I should be putting my kids to bed. So, thank you guys for the support. Prost. Thank you guys. Thank you to the Cincy Pod Squad team, especially the people that actually ran with us. There's plenty of other pod squatters out there that didn't run that I still appreciate. But for those of you who ran and made me not quit, I guess thank you. I don't think I should thank you for that. We could have quit. We could have quit a month ago and could have just been drinking somewhere. I could have told my wife that I had to go run in a marathon, and I could have had a whole day of drinking, just sitting in a beer garden somewhere without getting a sunburn, like in the shade, just drinking beer all day. And she could text me, "How's the run going?" And I'm like, "Oh, it's going great. I'm real tired." We could have done that. We could have quit. We didn't. We'll see you guys next week. Thank you very much. Yeah, next year's relay is going to be much more intense. We have plenty of room for other relayers next year. We'll see you guys. Thank you, guys. See ya. That's the jingle of the metal. That's what it sounds like when you're a champion beer drinker, green tea liqueur drinker. I do what I do. To clarify, it's not a relay medal, but you were there when they handed it to me.